So in this video, we're going to break down Chaturanga, and the literal translation of Chaturanga is four-limbed staff pose, which is not really important. Basically what it is the transition from plank to lowering and coming to a back bend, either cobra or up dog. So the lowering portion is known as the Chaturanga. It's a transition from plank to lowering down. So there's many ways that it's taught, and I think that there are better ways than some. But one of those ways is to modify it by lowering the knees. So I'm going to show you what it looks like from plank, lowering the knees and coming down for your cobra pose. Okay, so starting from a plank position, so the hands are directly beneath the shoulders and the toes and the ball of the feet are on the floor. So I'm pulling the belly in, and we're going to drop the knees and the toes and lower the knees right where they are, so they don't come below the hips. They want to be further back than the hips are. And then this lowering part is lowering the top half in one piece. Okay, so that is a modified Chaturanga, or you can refer to it as a lowering. The idea behind it is we want to lower the pelvis girdle, the shoulder girdle and the pelvis girdle together, right? So one way to check in with that is to bring blocks underneath onto the mat where they're going to line up with your shoulders and your pelvis, right? So I can set up in a plank position and set up my blocks so that they're lined up, and then I'll drop the knees and the toes from here. Then as I lower, I bend the elbows and I'm lowering in one piece, and I see what hits first. So my hips hit the block first. So that tells me that I want to pull the belly up more and see if I can lower the shoulder girdle with the pelvis girdle. Can I make it more even? So it was more even that time. It's never going to be perfect, so know that they're never going to land exactly at the same time, but we can get it as close as we can, right? So we can do that with lowering the knees. And then there's also the Chaturanga, the actual Chaturanga, so lowering from plank without lowering the knees. Know that you can lower the knees at any time, forever. You can also come into this plank and do that Chaturanga. So what that is lowering about halfway and squeezing the shoulder blades and really hugging the core in as you do it. So this is what we would define as your Chaturanga. This is your transition to either your up dog, or it's your cobra rather, or your transition to up dog, okay, from your plank position. You can do the same thing with the blocks with the knees lifted. So you can check in with your Chaturanga with those blocks and see what happens. So it might be completely different than when the knees were down, or it might not. So see what lands first. So that is the breakdown of a Chaturanga. You can lower the knees. You can do that every single time that you're lowering, coming into cobra or up dog, either way, or you can practice that full Chaturanga.